very good afternoon to you from the Korean southeast. We're here in Yeongnam for round 1, finally, of the HoloType Japan Zako series. Coming right up for you, it's the Yeongnam 200 minutes. Well, you know what's coming. But anyways, we are just going to move over into what the track looks like here. Of course, we're dealing with I think the second longest track in HoloType in the standalone HoloType Japan sorry, not standalone. It's the second longest track, I believe, third longest track in the entire HoloType Japan calendar, which also includes the World Series races. Only Suzuka and Le Mans are longer, with a track length of 5.6 kilometers. And then we also got 18 corners on what was supposed to be a booming racetrack filled with lots of apartment buildings and all that stuff. It was supposed to be a racetrack built on a planned town. Unfortunately, that didn't happen due to the financial crisis. We're looking at a race distance of 250 kilometers, aka 45 laps, which should, I think, estimate to about 1 hour and 30 to 40 minutes of racing. And looking at the lap record, we're going to be looking at a 153.284. Might be faster, might be slower, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. And so let's take a look into the standings for the Tsuyo and Zako before we move over into qualifying for the Zako series. So, of course, we got the likes of Lexi Bowen and Tyler Williams topping their splits. Lexi Bowen topping A, Tyler Williams topping B. So we've got some big heavy hitters in this field, but we're only going to be brief here because that's not the topic that we need to talk about. So we got big names like Daniel Barger. Azuka Azuri has been trusted over into the Subaru number 48. She's going to be looking to use the experience she's had at Watkins Glen to great effect on her first competitive outing in HoloType Japan. Also have Samiake and Mohamed Shakir Freza also being very good in the Tsuyo in qualified the Tsuyo. Also got the likes of Mohamed Cashew and Jake Martinez, who only barely made the Tsuyo. They might be wild cards, but we'll have to wait and see. So and here's the important part that we need to talk about, which is of course the Zako. And of course, in the Zako series, we have the likes of Hana Mikiriko, who barely didn't qualify for the Tsuyo. He was 12 by the time the entire thing has ended. The whole qualifier thing has ended. So that literally would mean that she is one of the beautiful cars out of the Tsuyo. And also we have Raymar Rosales, Raj Kazitsky, Kamen Reba, Yukihara Doka, Isakaji Mikolev, Joshua Zahi, Ozzy Wizu, who's had a shocking season as well for Korone. And then we have Jeff Rohan, Jack Labradores scoring very minimal points in the Split A qualifiers. Of course, they only scored 26 and 22 points respectively. They only drivers into double digits in Split A. And moving on to Split B, we got Ali J, first driver out of the Tsuyo, and then we got Misaki Sakura replacing Chris Salman, who was also pretty vocal in the qualifier for Split B. That's why you see the ASCII machine in the Zako. Shango, Dak Patterson, and So Byung-eun also joining Sakura as well as Rudy, Seirin, Masaraido, and Joey. And Joey in particular only scoring a single point out of the 5 races here. Basically, he wasn't at the races at Fuji, Autopolis, Lapal, and Sportslane Tsugo. He's got a lot to prove the doubters wrong. So that being said, let's move over into the qualifying session. So my name is Mama Shahid Reza, as usual. So we are just going to see which cars will finally go out. Alright, so we got first few cars out, and first driver out is of course Ray and by the way, we are trying to see if we can fix so in Twitch we are now finally playing, so that is pretty much is good news for all of us. So, let's talk about one of the few drivers here who have not made the Tsuyo. Raymond Rosales, of course, did not qualify from Split A. Was only scored 206 points, only went as high as 6, and scored no points in the first 2 races of qualifiers, so that's why he's in Zako. And then we have Raiju Kaczynski, who also did not make the Tsuyo, just behind Raymond Rosales by only 4 points. By about 8 points. Rosales only scored 206, Raiju Kaczynski 198. Well, it's not enough. Let's move on into more entries here. Then we also got Aussie Wizard. Courtney went on to her usual acrobatics in the 6th class. However, Wizard was not able to translate that into proper performances as he scored no points in Fuji and also did not score in the long and the World Series round. He's also not in the Tsuyo. He's not scoring a single point. He does perform slightly well in the JP side, scoring a 5th place on top list and 10th place at the Tsuyo. And here's the driver that we will talk about, Sakura. Now we're presenting ASCII, however, she is only in the Zako. So, there's $100 long score for last year in the circuit. Makes it completely flat out before you break into turn 1 in the 100-meter board. You can see Sakura tried to turn up. I think Sakura lost the grip a bit, but had to scare herself back into the roof thing by a good exit from turn 1 and 2. It's flat out for this long backswing, the longest straight of the circuit. Get off into the access road and get up to the wall to get past the curves. You break into turn 3. Tight corner first gear. And then you get a good exit on turn 3. You make your way up into turn 4. Have this like 60-60 section. You break around the 75-meter mark right into the turn 4 hairpin. And then you just have to fiddle yourself with your lines at turns 5 and 6, hanging around in first gear. That's how slow the corners are. And then after turn 6, you have like fast flowing corners at turns 7, 8, and 9. And as usual, you have to treat these corners like a single section to maintain your rhythm. And you can see exactly turn 3 heavily into turn 8. And to turn 9, almost hitting the soft curve that was caused severely. And then a slow corner, turn 10. And then into the long turn 11 section that will eat up your tires, especially given that it's 30 degrees Celsius ambient temperature in here in Yeongnam. And then turn 12, second gear, and then turn 13, also second gear. These be corners that if require a decent amount of management in the race. And then you got turn 14, and then heavy braking, not like heavy braking, but sudden braking in turn 15. And then you get past the turn 16, flat out from here, try to dare yourself to turn 17. And then flat out in turn 18. Should be a lot here in Yeongnam as Sakura now sets a 58.492. Now is the best car currently in the field at the moment. Yeah, I had to reduce the bit rate for a while to allow streaming on Twitch. So, right. So Sakura now currently up in pole position so far. Raymond Rosales second. So they're already showing her commitment to ASCII, all things considered, especially given that Salomon has, well, not been the best yet. Meanwhile, we also have Kanami Kiriko, who's now up into 6th place, trying to get herself and reunite some spirit once again after not qualifying for qualifiers once again. It was already bad that she didn't qualify. She took over from Sakura and she wasn't improving. They also got Ollie J, who's currently up in 3rd place. Given that the Flogo members also miss a round, that also puts them in a position where they are not in real contention to beat the Tsuyo. At least they're here. But what is a surprise is that 4 of the 5 of the Regloss members are only good enough to race in the Zako, which is of course Seirin, Shondo, Masaraido, and Joey. And also cars have already done their lap here. Speaking of which, we have a local driver here also racing in the field. That's So Byung-eun in car number 29 for Nico. Now he, I believe, is the only driver who have won a race. Actually, no, that was the so he has not won a race. So Byung-eun will be also Miss Fuji as a former entry. He didn't score points in the 2 or 4 races that he has entered. And only one of the finishes involved him finishing inside the top 10. He scored 15th at Le Mans in the C field. So we have Steve Knight for Sakura now continuing to right now Sakura is on positional pole. The closest challenger is Reynolds, but we are not seeing any improvements from him. Looking at second sector, actually scratched that. Shackle Lapadores with a 58.374. Putting that Matsuri number 7 into pole position right now. So we'll see how it looks here. We don't have one car who does not, and that's why Jeff Rohan. If you want to know what happened to Jeff Rohan, he's had issues with the car. Yep, car problems for car number 10. So it looks to me that Jeff Rohan is not going to qualify at the front anytime soon. Which Sakura now has a job to do. However, she is going to go to the pits, and that is to, oh yeah, we may need to fix that one crossing at the entry. Check on that. And there's plumes of smoke though. I do notice here in the pit, and that's Joshua Asahi having engine failure, but at least he has set a lap, so that's that. So who will be the next challenger to Shackle Lapadores for this pole position spot? Of course, Joe So Byung-eun doing very well. So Byung-eun is going to go for one more lap here. I reckon that tons of these drivers are going to go for one more lap. Armin Kiriko, who's currently in 10th place, is going to see if she can get closer to the front with her position at the moment. She's currently in 10th place. Oh yeah, if you do notice the higher quality mic, that's not a coincidence. This is actually a bit of an upgrade. Actually, that. But anyways, Jeff Rohan is going to be set to only be good enough for 19th. As let's see how this first sector goes. And he's slower than Chakalaporis by 2 seconds, so we might have to pay attention to see where he can gain some time. Actually, now comes to 8 and 9. don't know how far she lost it, but she hasn't lost a lot on that second sector. 5/10 behind Chaka. So she is gonna come here with a lot to do. Coming into the final corner, she had decided to abort the lap. It was a good run coming to the final sector, but with her not going for it anymore, she has to make the sounding roads that not cooperating with her, so there's only like 2 cars left. Looks to me that Masaraido is now coming into the pit, and it looks to me that that just might be it for qualifying. And yep, that is gonna be that. Chaka Labradores will sit on pole position for the Yeongnam 200 minutes Zako series race. So that out of the way, let's not waste too much of our time and let's take a look into the starting lineup here for the, of course, Yeongnam 200 minutes Zako series race. Chaka Labradores will start on pole position for Natsura Matsuri. And of course, Misaki Sakura in her ASCII debut in HoloType will start in 2nd place. Gabriel Marzal is sitting in 3rd for Sharonoi Flair, with So Byung-eun currently sitting 4th for Kogani Nico as the hometown driver. Ali J will start 5th for Kikiara Vivi, with 6th place Kaminari Riba for Shishiro Botan. And then we got Austin Wizard 7th for Inagami Korone, with Yutsukaji Mikolev 8th for Sakura Miko. Rudy will start 9th, the Hatsune Miku fan will, that's where he will start for Mizumiyasu. Kiriko will start 10th for the Blue Knights. The first of the Ligiers, Masaraido, will start in 11th place for Hajime, with 12th place Joey for Raden. And we got Dak Patterson, who was not happy that he didn't get to qualify for the Tsuyo for both the for Formula Hall and HoloType. He will try to find something back here for Rindo Chihaya. Serial starts 14th for Otonatsu Kanade, with 15th place Raiji Kazutsky for Yusuke Choko. And then we got Yukara Toka 16th for Yukano Lami, with Joshua Sahi joining her in 17th place for Hakui Koyori. Shongo will be the last driver who qualifies in 18th place, at least on time. We'll start 18th for Ichijo Ririka, with 19th place Jeff Rohan for Tokoyami Toa, having been beset with car problems in qualifying. Let's see if we can see some improved qualities in the race. And with that being said, let's do a bit of intermission before we get things fixed, before we get it done. So we are just going to see if we can right, so we are just going to do some adjustments to the pit line before we do something. So yeah, curb hopping has become an issue in much of the stream so far. So we are just going to do some last adjustments before I want to see if the cameras can be fixed. Alright, this is gonna take some time before we oh man, I think we have some problems with the cars not starting. And I think we have some issues. Yep, we have essentially cars having a lot of problems. I'm not sure why, but I think we might need to try to boot up the regular round for this. So might need to give us some time to sort out the grid. So again, we can apologize for this mishap. So do give us some time to adjust this one. So right, so it is Chaka Labradorus. Hang on, let me see. And then we got Shango, Joshua Sahi, and then Yukara Doka and Raja Kaczynski. And then we got Sarin and Dak Patterson, Masaraido and Joey, Hanami Kiriko and Rudy. And then we got Isakaji Mikalev with Osne Wizard, Kaminari Reba, and Ali J. Chaka Labradors, Misaki Sakura, Raymar Exhaust, and So Byung-eun. That should be the grid. So we are gonna go for one more star, and I think the weather has also changed slightly here in Yeongnam as the rain starts to fall for some reason. And you're gonna go, oh really? It's raining at Yeongnam. All right, we'll show you what it looks like. So when we did our race attempts, the cars basically did not launch off the line. I can't really tell why. So we are just going to go for the start here now. All right, so we are just going to get ourselves back into this race finally after a pretty lengthy delay. Once again, we can only apologize. Right, so Chaka Labradorus starts on pole position with Misaki Sakura in second. Light rain has already fallen on this Korea circuit. Who's gonna be first after the first two turns here in Yeongnam? We'll have to wait and see, as every single driver starts off to a pretty slow start, and Misaki Sakura gets off the line very much amazingly as they all now come into turn one. Almost couldn't see what's going on here as everyone just slows down, just trying to manage their pace here. But now Misaki Sakura leading So Byung-eun. Chaka Labradorus has now dropped down into third place. As you can see, lots of puddles of water on the side of the track. That's what the drivers really need to avoid. With Riba currently in fourth, Raymars also drops down to fifth, Ollie J in sixth, Nicholas seventh, and So Byung-eun's gone off. Lots of drivers have gone off. And we see Misaki Sakura, Chaka Labradorus, and that's, oh man, first four cars already out of this race. And right now with a massive bloodbath that we are seeing here, we are going to see a bit of a red flag here. Alright, so we are just going to check once again about the weather here. And that race start has been pretty much a mess, but we will have to try again. Alright, so we are just going to go for another attempt at a race start. Alright, so this time the rain has kind of improved a bit. We have to do some, what do we call it, some adjustments. So we're gonna go for take two of this start, and it's going to be Chaka Labradorus and Misaki Sakura lining up once again here for attempt number two. Let's hope that these drivers don't really bin it at the start. And we are off once again here in Yeongnam, and the inside line continues to be very fruitful for the drivers up front this time. So Byung-eun now launching to second place. Misaki Sakura still maintains the lead. And right now, everyone is trying to keep their rear ends intact as the drivers now try to slowly navigate their way into the first few corners. Rohan now finally makes it out once again. This time you can see here, lots of drivers now just going off here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is an even bigger pileup than last time. And I think even if with the second try here, seeing drivers essentially launch themselves off into the rain here. And right now, we are going to be concerned to see if these drivers are going to be able to race safely in these conditions because, right, there's a second red flag. Red flag number 2. Alright, so if we do check here, they're all on wet tires and they're all skidded off the track. I really can't tell why. But I think we are going to red flag until the weather basically improves. And right now we are just going to force a dry condition to basically improve things. Right. Alright, so we're gonna force dry conditions because the drivers literally cannot race in these conditions. So, and we do want to keep putting a race, so we are gonna go at it again. Alright, so take 3 of this start. This time we're gonna race on dry conditions because we really cannot waste any more time than we have already. So we now have again Chaka and Sakura lining up at the start. This time we are gonna go for a bit of against weather as we now try the charm thing. This time the outside line improves, and this time Chaka Labradors gets to stay into the lead coming from turn 1. Sakura tries to fight, and it's going to be Sakura spinning Chaka Labradors, and looks to me that they are now out of this race for both of them. Sakura bringing Chaka Labradors off, and I also see coming in Riba also out as well. Riba trying to get himself back into it, and he does get himself into. So it's already a bad start from Chaka Labradors and Sakura. So we now have 17 cars remaining in this race. This time everyone gets to survive bar 2. And Riba is a bit behind. So we are seeing more battles here. More drivers basically going pretty aggressive on the curbs. Sobyang now leads Ray Gonzalez, Ali J, Osne Wizard. Nicola 5th, Rido 6th, Black Patterson 7th, Rudy 8th, Hanmi Kiriko at 9th, and Ryan Kaczynski up in 10th. The 2 leaders essentially coming together at turn 1. Sakura literally went on into the curb, lost control of the car as Jack Labradors went around the outside, as both of them have already retired. No penalty will be issued, and it will be very hard to police grid penalties, so we're just going to leave it as no further action. Thank you so much for that. But anyways, we do have Raymar Gonzalez still chasing Sobyang for the lead of this race. So on now, Ali J now doing very well to stay in 3rd place. They can get out of BB number 51. Down the inside, and he's gonna try to force his way into that position, and he does. Makes contact with Asahi once again. Asahi's probably not gonna be happy with that. And now Jeff Rohan in the mix for on the mix to inside. Jeff Rohan deals it down into turn 3, hits the car way too hard once again, and they make contact, and it's going to be both of them still going on. So he now stays in 15th place. So drivers going off in turn 3, so the game didn't make it turn here. Love that. Jay here showing Gonzalez still maintaining the lead as it stands. Shaq on to Gracefield Motors. This is a bit of a longer race. Left to Monday. Osnick Wizard for place. You can see how progressed. Greatly improved from last time. Are going to be issues, but fortunately we are seeing some improvement, and if you are seeing some graphical improvements as well, it's really good. We have upgraded into a new dedicated PC instead of a gaming laptop, so that's why you see some wholesale improvements as we continue on this race lap. Many laps, so let's see a look into a race line about this. Again, if you have any questions, please share it in the chat. Making contact with Tsukihara Toka, and of course she's back in this race, and now Toka is now off. So we'll need to see what happened to Kiriko as she has some issues. So here's what happened. Kiriko going down the inside. Let's give Kiriko. And Kazuki spins Kiriko off. Issues here, already has damage, and because of that she tried to get back to the track, but hits Yukihara Toka. So it could be a pretty interesting set of circumstances as Toka is now out of this race. So it will be a funny penalty, all things considered, because Raiji has made a non-DNF inducing penalty, and Kiriko has made a DNF inducing penalty. already dished out. Trying to win the start of the flight number 20 up front. Now, let's give a bit of a fun fact. Shiranui Flare in the ARO competitions has not won since 2022, when I believe it was. Let me pull up the stat sheet as. So in the 2022 season, yes, Wawan Sarto was in the number 20 car by the end of it. Was he there in 2022? We will have to check. We need to check the results. So it was, yes, Wawan Sarto, yes, it indeed was the last driver to win for Shiranui Flare in ARO competitions, and right now, it is a 3-year-long wait that could come to an end if Ray Marzales can hang on to this race lead. And of course, already proving himself to be a solid contender in the ARO competitions, getting some good results here and there, but he's yet to fully prove himself as the best when it comes to racing in these types of competitions. But we will have to wait and see on how Marzales has it and able to solve up the pressure. And of course, he was challenging for the win late on in race 2 of the Formula Hall of Japan Tsuyo Cup, the Zako Cup Okayama Grand Prix. After Chakalabor's crash, he was trying to chase Nakazuri, but wasn't able to make the pass. So Rick Marzales is going to go for his best chances and best chance to win this race. We still have about less than 90% of the race to go, so we're going to have some decent competition, especially we've got 4 cars currently on the hunt for race lead. J has problems. Alright, so Ali J having problems is the unfortunate answer, but we will have to check what happened. If you do want to know what happened, I think the answer is very clear. Look at the car. Smoke, and she is out of this race. Very unfortunate, as but at the very least, given that she went farther than some drivers, we will at the very least be able to score her with single number points. Kiriko's now back into 15th. tricky though if the timing tower doesn't close up once again as we are checking the line again. Timing tower is not showing. We will see what happens again. We'll see what happens. Alright, so I can't really tell what happened. He has had some issues somewhere. Never mind, he has no issues. So Shongo is currently in 15th place, going for currently leads this race, 5 seconds ahead of Seo Byung-eun. And there's a battle here between that person, that person, potentially rivals as well. Don't forget Seirin Yokosahi, and now as well, and check what happened in the vehicle. Take a short break, don't go anywhere, we'll be back in a minute. Its relative is the at the moment. So if you go to auto and that, it just doesn't work. So some adjustments. Pit stop, so that explains things. And speaking of which, we now have Adak-RMS and Tsuyo swapping places between each other. Adak-RMS now drops down to 6 and tries to make the pass into Raido. Right. So he stays as we now see some shuffles. I think that is expected. Kiriko still trying to hunt Jeff Rohan for 12th place. And remember, Kiriko is going to receive a penalty. Seconds, so she can at least salvage a position if she can go a bit faster than go. She will lose out the position to Ruby anyways. Stop. Alright, so we're gonna use this time tower for currently has the fastest lap of this race, 8:99. And see Zako trying to make something work against the Wizard. And it was a great run though from the final two corners. As Ryder tries to walk against Wizard. And that didn't work. Alright, so heels of Wizard. Sorbet still stays in second in the gap now from the lead to seconds, now at 7 seconds. So it's a good job so far though for Gonzalez to stay up in front. happen. Adak-RMS is gonna try again. Sakura, so 4 cars already out. So we now have essentially these cars are making progress. So we have the 15 cars, so we essentially guarantee the points. Yeongnam has now set his personal best as he's chasing RMR. So again, that see here, Joshua Asahi actually going off the track here, trying to defend against a hungry Kaminari Riba. Riba think of a move down the inside into turn 1. Well, he's gonna have to think about it. On board, we will see that Saki has essentially duped a Riba into making a mistake. Try again. Oh, and that is a mistake though by Joshua Asahi. He locks up, I believe, into turn 3. Goes off the track and loses grip, locks the brakes, almost gives Riba the opportunity to pass. 14, not 14 in this race, and later, this is now trying to chase Soviet Lin. Riba's also now trying to get back to Soviet Lin. Well, hunting for the wizard right now, but we'll see how successful it has been. Assuming he's faster than Shango and Rudy, will be faster than period. Right now she's not taking all the boxes. So the ending is absolutely pounding the results right now. Gap was at 7 seconds, now it's dropped down to less than 3 seconds. Left to very close to Wizard.
Right, so if you notice why I haven't been doing so I am getting tired with you check the replay on how Nicola tried to get closer to Sean Holly, and as you can also see, what happened to Nicola was that he was, well, sorry for not being able to essentially tell you what happened, but just to give you a bit of a recap, here's what happened to Mikolev. So after his attempted overtake against the wizard, that didn't work. Essentially hop onto the curb, nearly hit the side of the wizard. Essentially straddles the curb, loses grip, and goes off the track, stalls the car, and that is what happened to Mikolev at the end of this. So Mikolev is now your next retirement, and that's gonna only help those at the back to get themselves back up. Sorry again for missing that. Rider now comes into the pits to get his car serviced. So we'll see where he will end up relative to the rest of the field. We haven't reached the halfway stage yet. Vehicle is now up into 10th place. Now ahead of Jeff Rohan. So we'll see what happened to Rohan and Kiriko. What happened? So he straddles onto the curbs, goes run, and almost hits Kiriko there, and he straddles the curb. So it was almost gonna be something that ends in tears. Right. So this will guarantee one thing though, with Mikolev currently out of this race, Ali J also being out. Out, Lapidus out, and Sakura out. This essentially means Mikolev is going to be guaranteed a single point for his troubles. So now Jeff Rohan is 9 seconds. Sorry, 9 positions from the start. Yeah, he did start at the back of the field by essentially. And he has multiple problems at the start, but he does manage to.
penalty that he will be serving. We'll talk about more in detail as it now comes down to his Jeff Rohan and Mazaraido now basically overtake once again. Was on fresh tires. Jeff Rohan couldn't do anything about it. As more drivers come into the pits, Hanabi Kiriko now goes up into seventh place. So he'll still be ahead of Rudy and Shango as it stands after both of them make their pit stops. Into the pits, and yep, it is a basic pit stop of sorts, and I don't think I saw any damage here as Commander above finally gets himself back out. So Kiriko now up into 6th place, so he's going to be set to be ahead of Commander Rimba, but we'll see how she handles the gap after she makes her pit stop. 19 laps complete, and Right now the gap is between 47 seconds between Raymond Gonzalez and Tsuyo. After Tsuyo made a pit stop, Gonzalez still technically has this lead, and he is. And the gap's dropping. Now it's at 46 seconds. Gonzalez also about to catch the lap car of Sean Go, as you can see here. So that will probably help Sobia, who's currently blitzing forward with a decent amount of pace here. Sayer, though, has the best of the previous lap, so if you do check the kind of fastest lap, it's still being held by Cameron River. He still has the yardstick 158.899. Also coming in for his pit stop. As you notice, he's absolutely hanging on. She does. For now. See how Sobel manages to handle it, and we saw the gaps here dropping down to about 44 seconds, and now we'll see for sure on who takes this race lead in this race. Sobel currently chasing, now finally out, and it looks to me that both Raymond Gonzalez and Jose Wizard are able to hang on to the lead as it stands. I think Sobel might just be able to actually steal it. And Raymond Gonzalez gets back out, and he stays in the lead. And crucially for him, he does have fresher tires. He still has one issue left that he needs to deal with, and that is, of course, Raymond Sean Go ahead. Hanami Kiriko has already passed the lap car of Go. Sarin now has the lead for Kanade. Interesting chase here. Sobel has warmer tires for Raymond Gonzalez. Gonzalez is the driver for Sharon Flair. The former driver of Sharon Flair. The push aside for Raymond Gonzalez might have a personal vendetta against him. Another short break. Just 1 second. And that is a big hit into the curb there, and almost sends him to the wall. But Alonso, meanwhile, has already created his tires by the temperature. So Jeff Rohan. And after pit stops, here goes very good job. Her race pace, she now. Not having the pace that he's looking for, only setting a 159. This race, on this transitional phase of this race, trying to get himself into footing after the stops. Minor choices as well, taking up hits as Raymond to clear the back car of Shango. But Shango's causing troubles for Raymond Rosales as the leader gets spun around, and it's gonna be Raymond Rosales out of this race. It's now So-byung-in with the lead. Very much a disappointment here by Shango, who didn't clear Raymond Rosales in time, and now both drivers have to pay with their retirements. Shango will look to only get 4 points from this race. Raymond Rosales only good enough for 8 points. And now open the door for potential first-time winners to come. More potential first-time winners to come. So-byung-in and Osnip Wizard. We'll see how they fare. To report yourself clean and all that. And right now, those who race clean have basically reaped the rewards. Tsuyo has spun Poka out of the race for being spun by Rich Kaczynski. Are set to receive have already received penalties. Kaczynski will be dropping down to 7th, dropping down to 12th. Now that we are now at lap 27, so that is still maintaining the lead. It will be, I believe, the first time since Ryu wins for Isaki Ryona that a device class won a race. And right now, Sabyang is doing a very good job of staying up in front, maintaining this gap against Aussie Wizard and Dak Patterson. Against in the middle sector. So Byung-eun is about to approach the hairpin. So
thinking of a move down the inside. So Byung-eun's gap to Optimus is now open up to 1.9 seconds. Dak Patterson to 2.9. Kiriko is at least going to try to have a climb and take 2 cars despite positioning back. And that's Kaminari Reba. We'll see what happened to him, and I think it is as simple as oh yeah, that's an issue of someone hitting. Yep, I think that's Kaminari Reba out of this race, and I think we will need to check this replay. Sorry, I was off the screen once again. This is what happened. So I think that's Kaminari Reba and Jeff Rohan. So we'll see what. Sorry, it's Kaminari Kiriko once again. And if you see this replay, Rippa and Kiriko are literally alongside each other. If you see the radar on what happened here, by turning, it was Rippa's corner. Kiriko went into the head, so and then absolutely sent Rippa into the outside wall. Here's what happened on the onboard of Rippa. It's pushed off by Kiriko. It gets hit into the wall. And that is Rippa out of this race. He's now down in 12th. So we will update
So it might be another penalty for Hanami Kiriko, since this is a DNF-inducing collision, and she is going to be deemed to have caused it. She will be sent down to 11th place and not be at 9th if it is found out that she is actually guilty. No doubt in my mind that caused it. So there will be a decision coming for Kiriko. Once again, she will. I think this is a slam dunk penalty. So another 30-second penalty for Hanami Kiriko for causing a collision by sending Kaminari out of the race. Massive blow to her chance to finish inside the top 10 unless another car crashes out that is not of her causing. This might be strategic. To go. And right on that comparison, there's a slight touch to also lost touch to Tsuyo. So we already hit it way earlier than funny enough, he did hit way earlier than that comparison and Osne reserve. That it also gave him the chance to just, be ahead. I mean, he was already ahead. The only driver that was ahead was Raymar Gonzalez, and then Raymar Gonzalez got punted by Sean Go. So, that is essentially... That's essentially what happened so far. You gotta be careful though about the power thingy because it's not a laptop that can still be on. Oh sorry, that's not how it works here. But anyways, we are still we're gonna be paying attention to Kiriko now having a minute's penalty. We'll see if she can at least Ruby having a minute's gap.
as you can see here, she does gain some time though onto Rudy, but the issue is that there is not much time. And Joey has problems after having a pretty quiet race up to this point. Here is what happened to Rudy. And I think he's gonna make a second pit stop, so that's gonna give potentially Kiriko a top 10. That is how Rudy manages to get himself on, but I don't think I think Joey can still stay in 8th at this rate with Kiriko taking a minute penalty. Rudy is slightly faster than Kiriko on that last lap, which does help things. So far, and Seirin doing a decent job so far in 6th. Now, if we did compare the starting lineup here, where we had things going on. So, if we do check the start here, Austin Wizard, starting poorly. And starting up report was Chakalabadoras, but was involved with a starting pileup with Sakura. And then Raymond Gonzalez and Sobiagun starting 3rd and 4th. Raymond Gonzalez is also out of this race. And that leaves Sobiagun, the guy who started from 4th, to try to win it for Koka and Nico. The Eye of the Tiger absolutely proving its use. So, what is next here? So Sobyung-eun now opens the gap to Osner Wizard by 3 seconds, although Osner Wizard is now faster on the previous lap by over a second. Sobyung-eun not dealing with any cars yet. So, and then we got Masaraido now coming into the pits, and we will have to check on what happened to Masa. And I think this was a usual trip to the pits for him, so there won't be any issues from him. He is gonna lose out some positions. which looking at these performances, Raja Kaczynski running in 4th place. He's doing a pretty good job so far. Kodak Passer running in 3rd, Raja Kaczynski running in 4th. So, yeah, we just wanted to continue on. It has been a positive race so far. Alright, with a few laps to go before we conclude the Zako series race here in this Yeongnam 200 minutes race. I do want to say though about the current penalties in place. Kaczynski, now ahead of Saren by over 33 seconds, will not have his results be changed at any case. Meanwhile, Kiriko not ahead of anyone by over a minute. The closest one is Rudy, who is, the farthest one is Rudy, who is about 43 seconds only. Losing a lot of positions and going to be dropping down to 11th as a result of inflection. Still unable to pass Joshua Sahi, so she's gonna drop down to 11. Kaczynski will only be dropping down to 4th place only.
Well, staying in 4th place, but let's see, open to 4 seconds. Also, Wizard and Dak Patterson are on a perpetual battle for 2nd. However, nothing to report yet. So Byung-eun, taking nothing away from his race, he has done a very much amazing job of staying in the lead for as long as he's been able to get on. Currently a solid job of making him out of trouble and almost certain taking a swing. About to start lap 41. And since then, and since taking the lead after Raymond Gonzalez has had his issues, it is now. Oh, Dak Patterson finally comes into the pits. I do want to mention though of when Dak will be making his next pit stop, and I think that's what anything we have our answers now. But anyways, Dak Patterson has already made his pit stop. Kaczynski far ahead, so Kaczynski will take an unlikely third place, and this is after penalties. So that is a massive improvement. It is a good comeback though from what was supposed to be a forgettable race for him. Amazing job so far. Kaczynski just outside of that crash. Well, he's gonna still be in third place. Highlights with his crash with Kiriko, but we also want to take that back as Austin Wizard and Byung-eun have already made their pit stop late into this race. That will open the door for Austin Wizard to take the lead. So that will be a big surprise, and it will change the complexion of this race by a whole lot. Ready? So Austin Wizard will be leading over Byung-eun, who's done an amazing job to have a great reset with the second place result. Dak Patterson gets to come back and still staying in third place despite after making his pit stop, which is insanely to think about. Masaraido will be the one that will be credited with 6th place. 7th place will be Raijin Kaczynski. Joey will end up with 8th place. The final score one and the second points. And that's the second place of this career so far. Speaking of which, I do want to point out though that no, Joey and Jeff Rohan. Hang on, I'm just going to calculate the points. So Kaczynski will drop down to 10. So it will be Raido. So it will be Masaraido, then Joey in 7th, Jeff Rohan in 8th, Raijin Kaczynski will actually finish in 9th, and Rudy will finish in 10th. Hanami Kiriko will finish in 11th after getting her penalties. So, as we're now coming to the final stages of this race, Ozen Wizard, Sobyuk, and Dak Patterson, Siri Josai will run at the top 5. Masaraido will take 6th place, and provisionally will be Masaraido with 6, and then will be Joey 7th, Jeff Rohan provisionally in 8th, Raijin Kaczynski will finish in 9th, and Rudy will finish in 10th. Kiriko will finish last of the runners with a 1-minute penalty. And of course we still have much of the runners. Tires. Same goes for Gonzalez, Trump goes second retired inside the points. And then we also have how do we put this? The drivers who finish outside the points. Yeah. Ali J, Yukara Toka, Chaka Labrador, and Saki Sakura essentially will be making up the remaining drivers who will make up the spots here. And they, of course, will be retiring without a single point. Of course, it will be very painful for Saki Sakura. On her all-time debut, she essentially crashed out. Anyways, we are in the final lap. Austin Wizard has crossed the line first. So right now Austin Wizard has done a very good job to finally hit the ground running. Of course, he had to replace Sean Pauly at the early phases of the after essentially Fuji, with Sean Pauly announcing his shock retirement from the Inugami Corona series. Of course, Austin Wizard has already shown his potential through. He has already shown his potential through, of course, him winning in Formula HoloType 2 in a row at Motegi in Split A to secure him the Split A title and the spot in the Tsuyo Cup. And now it is going to be Aussie Wizard one step away from essentially getting into the Tsuyo himself. He's already not in the Tsuyo, right in the Zako. Well, at the very least, he will be able to get some kind of some sort of retribution for his wretched Tsuyo campaign. And I think he's hit the curb very well, but I don't think it's going to affect him too much. A bit of a slip up, but it doesn't really matter for Aussie Wizard. He just needs to cross the line to bring home Inugami Korone his first win in HoloType. Aussie Wizard and Inugami Korone win the Yeongnam 200-minute Zako Series race. It was a good try though from it was a very, very good try from the likes of So Byung-kun, who did keep his wits about it to save himself from any bit of harm to bring that Kokani Nico number 29 to second place. Dak Patterson makes it a flow glow 2-3 with him taking the fastest lap right at the end. What a comeback that was. Anyway, Serenin will take 4th place. Joshua Asahi 5th. Kiriko will finish in 11th place with Raija Kaczynski actually only dropping to 9th place. Based on and he's already overtaken Jeff. He's already ahead enough of Jeff Rohan to essentially stay in 9th as it stands. But we will have to check how it looks here, as we still have a few drivers who have yet to make a finish here. With Jeff Rohan and Rudy now chasing between each other on who gets to finish in those top 10 spots. So Rohan and Rudy will be finishing 9th and 10th. And there will be no there will be no photo finish. We are just going to move on into the results. So we are going to do some calculations here. So it'll be 93.12 for Kiriko. So she will be sent down to 11th. Raija Kaczynski will be at 28. So she will only be losing against Joey. So Raija Kaczynski will actually beat Jeff Rohan by his position. So yeah. So Aussie Wizard takes the win here in in the Zako Cup. Series, in the Zako Series, Yeongnam 200 minutes, with Sobyung on 2nd for Kokani Nico, Dak Patterson is Rito Hachaya in 3rd, Seirin 4th with Joshua Asahi 5th, Kiriko 6th, Masaraido 7th, Raija Kaczynski 8th, Joey 9th, and Jeff Rohan, or rather, Kiriko in 11th, Masaraido 6th, Joey 7th, Raija Kaczynski 8th, Jeff Rohan 9th, and Misa Miesu's Rudy inside the top 10. Anime Kiriko will finish in 11th for Himimori Luna after 2 incidents sent her to the back of the field. Coming in Reba 12th with Raymar Gonzalez 13th, Shango 14th, and Sakaji Mika left the last driver to score points. Ali J retires with an engine issue with Yukihara Toka being sent out of the race by Hanami Kiriko. That's why. And we got Chaka Labradores and Misaki Sakura involved on that lap 1 melee between each other that sent both of them out of the race. Alright, so we are just gonna do a bit of intermission while we load the standings and all that. Alright, so we are just gonna see if the results do load. It had to cancel. We are gonna check the replay again, but All right, so we're gonna move on into the championship standings. We cannot waste any more time. So here are the standings after the Yeongnam 200 minutes Zako series race have concluded. And whoops, I shouldn't be doing that. Anyways, Ozan Wizard and So Byung-eun currently take the top 2 spots in the standings. And also we got Dak Patterson in 3rd, Seirin in 4th, Joshu Asahi in 5th, Masarito 6th, Joey 7th, and Jeff Rohan 8th, Rudy 9th, Kiriko 9th, and Kaczynski 8th, Jeff Rohan 9th, Rudy 10th, Kiriko in 11th, Cameron Reba 12th, Raymar Salas, King Chongo 14th, Saganji Mikalev in 15th with the non-points finishes, Labradores and Sakura, Alj and Karatoka running out the 4-car field. Alright, so with that being said, that should be all for today's stream. We'd like to thank everyone for tuning in for this race, even though there's not a lot of people tuning in actually. We hope you enjoyed this race nonetheless, and we'll see you tomorrow for the CEO series Yeongnam 200 minutes race. We'll see you then. Take care everyone. My name is Marshall Reza, and we'll see you tomorrow for the CEO series race.